This is JT on Super Talk, Mississippi.
We've got Marvin Cox here with us, and let's get him locked in here. Marvin, with a member of the Mississippi Patriots. How you doing, Marvin?
Hey, doing great. Glad to be here today.
Tell me a little bit about the Mississippi Patriots and yourself. Where are you calling us from?
I'm actually up in DeSoto County, calling from South Haven today. Mississippi Patriots, just a small group of us who got together. It was formed just a few years back.
Right. And
it was a group of people who formed out of the Tea Parties. And so what we want to do is, instead of sitting around and just talking about, complaining about things, we want to get out there and put our foot to the pavement. And we want to work. Do whatever we can to try to get things done to, just make this country better again. And a group of people got together, about 20 people. It's not even that many folks, just about 20 folks in a simple community. And all we did is we got out. One of the first things we did is we went out there and worked on the voter ID petition. And went crazy with that. We worked in the Delta. We worked in North Mississippi. We had a group of people that took vacation time and went down to the coast and worked down there. Just got, thousands upon thousands of signatures, and we're very proud of that. And when you get done with something like that, normally people say, well, time to go sit down. No, they said, and it was funny, the leader of our group, nicknamed JD, they said, JD, what are we doing next? And she said, well, then let's find something. And so they have been committed since that time to just continually moving and going forward. And we've even spread out. We got MississippiPatriots.com, and we're also on Facebook, Mississippi Patriots. And we're out there just working all the time trying to find solutions and answers to problems that we hear other people talking about. And I guess that's what I'm on the radio today talking to you about. So
you sound like one of those angry right-wing extremist, gun-toting. I bet you go to church, don't you, Marvin?
For what? I go 3 times a week, and it's not bad.
I bet you're one of those evil people that goes to church and carries a Bible and is conservative. What in the world? Where are we, dogs and cats living together? What's going to happen? This whole rhetoric, man, have you ever in your life, everything, it talks about this in the Bible, everything that's right becomes wrong and everything wrong becomes right. I'm wondering sometimes if that might be where we are.
I think the book is right, and we're going to head that way one way or another. But I can also tell you that, yes, I do own guns. Yes, I am the kind of guy that reads his Bible, and yes, I am the kind of guy that goes to church. But if those kind of things make you wrong, then yes, like it says in the book, I'm wrong.
They don't make you wrong, sir. That's just what the left is trying to portray. They're trying to make that into that because they have nothing left, and they also realize that they're very, very quickly starting to lose their grasp on this country. If we're not free-spirited and in Hollywood or a singer or an actor, then there is the only one that matters, not the common people that are out there. Let's talk about Senate Bill 2255. I have spoke with Senator Fillingane about this. And we have talked about this, but basically it would put a tax on wire transfers for money out of the state of Mississippi to help build a border fence, correct?
That is correct. And it's a great way. It's not really been looked at before to do that. And basically, like you're talking about, we've got a ton of illegal workers. In fact, yesterday, I drove down to Jackson to listen to a bill that's been voted on about illegal immigration. It wasn't our bill. It was another bill.
It's the Arizona bill is what I call it. Basically, would give us the ability to enforce federal law.
That's right. And one of the things they said was that from about 2006 to now, the number of illegal immigrants in Mississippi has doubled to around 90 to 100,000. Now, I want you to think about that. Now, some of those are people being educated in Mississippi illegally, but they're being educated, and then some of those are people who are out there working, taking jobs from Mississippians, taking that money and shipping it home down to Mexico, Latin America, different places like that. Not just Mexico. They're spread all the way down through South America.
And that's money that leaves our economy that never circulates. That's money that if an American had that job, they would turn around and circulate it into this economy and would hopefully turn around and help it.
Yes, sir. Not only that, think about this. Now, Pew's research, which does research on Latin American countries, says that just in our state alone, $100 million is going to these foreign countries just from Mississippi. Now, think about this. How much money does Mississippi spend on illegals every year? Not undocumented workers, illegals. Around $100 million. You get rid of that, not only do you have $100 million more in jobs, you're going to have $100 million more in taxes. So think about that for a second. We already spend $99 million on them every year. Now we're going to have $99 million left over, plus $100 million in jobs.
Right.
And not only that, these people that are sending them back, they're not paying income tax. They might be paying tax on gas or a pack of gum, but so does everybody else. So we're going to have more income tax money coming in. You think these state lawmakers would be chomping at the bit to do this, but a lot of them aren't.
Sir, you have to remember something. You have the CEO of the Mississippi Immigrants' Rights Alliance as one of Billy McCoy's hand-picked chairmen in the House of Representatives, and you have Willie Bailey, who runs Judd B., who is going to probably kill all these bills as he's done every year. That's your big problem. And nothing's really going to change as far as that's concerned until we make a change and change the Speaker of the House from Billy McCoy to somebody else who would put some bipartisan committee chairmen out there, and hopefully we could get to this. But right now, I'm afraid it's not going to happen, but I'm not going to back down, and I don't expect y'all to back down either, Mark.
We're not going to. We're going to start calling members of the Mississippi House. We're going to get over there. We're going to do that. We're going to come down to Jackson. We're going to talk to some of these guys. We're going to make sure that our people up here in DeSoto County, who directly answer to us, we're going to make sure that they try their best to do whatever they can to vote something in and get it onto the floor. And I know that these guys can block things, but there's ways to get it out there. There are still ways that you can do things to get bills onto the floor. And, if we can just get people that are listening today to start calling in for some of these bills, you're going to have some action on illegal immigrants now. Not tomorrow, not down the road. You're going to, Senate bill yesterday, 2179, is going to give law enforcement, we're not going to tie their hands anymore. We're going to open up their arms and let them go to work. Senate bill 2255, which is the one that we're pushing really hard right now about these remittance fees, we want that to go through, so we're going to be pushing really, really hard. We're going to, it's going to bring in another level of taxes, and the funny thing about it is that the normal taxpayer is not going to pay. It's going to be those people who are here illegally. So, this is something that, like I said, lawmakers should be chomping at the bit, but until we convince some of our, sister counties in Mississippi that every time you elect a Democrat, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be electing these guys who are going to be blocking immigration.
Well, basically,
these things to make things right.
Basically, the way I look at it is like this, Marvin. These Democrats would love to raise the taxes on you and I, but they don't want to raise the taxes on illegal aliens. That's the way I see it, sir.
I think you're exactly right on that. But I tell you what, just looking at a bill like this and thinking about what it could actually do, it's a great thing. We call it the Border Fence Act, and we call it that way for a reason.
Break it down a little bit more for everybody.
What this is actually going to do, and like I said, this is money that illegals are sending home. So they're going to be paying for this, and that's one of the beauties of it. It's not going to be coming out of your and my pocket. It's actually going to help build the border fence. Other states are starting to come on board a little bit with it and look at it. Most of the Republicans, just like a lot of guys on there who push as well, like single film game. But what it's going to do is it's going to provide about $7 or $8 million a year just out of our small state to be put into a fund that will help build the border fence. And the reason why we're going to have to do it, they've been trying to build this thing for 25 years, and they supposedly have 500 miles of the book. They don't. It's not even close to that.
Right.
You can go online and look at it. It's a joke. And what they've done is there was another gentleman who got tired of it as well, and he has said that you can actually build this fence for about $1.3 million per mile. Mississippi itself could build 7 miles a day. A year. That doesn't sound like a lot. But like I said, other states are starting to look at this bill. They're starting to see things about it that are good, and they're saying, wow, this is great. And I talked to a gentleman, he used to work for the U.S. Justice Department and lives here in Mississippi, and one of the things he did was he was in charge of buying land, or setting up so that they could buy land from U.S. citizens to put a fence up. And he said everywhere that the fence was completed, that people crossing the border in that area was down 97 to 98%. Think about that number for a minute. That was from the Justice Department. And I said, okay, if we build this thing all the way across and cut down on all these things, and the rest of the illegals that are here actually control our border, we're going to have millions of jobs inside the country, to which these lawmakers who are blocking these things would have taxes coming in to take care of citizens with, or take care of their, not citizens, but their duties, I should say, keeping our highways going, keeping our defense strong. So, I mean, all this, it boils back to one issue of taxes and not being able to collect on jobs. Instead, they're sending our money south of the border. And this bill just simply says we're tired of it. The federal government won't build it, so we're going to have to build it ourselves. And what way we're going to do that is with this money, land will be donated by citizens who are sick and tired of it. And they're going to build it across there. All we have to do is simply, wherever the federal government was going to build the fence, move it back a couple, maybe 100 yards or so, and build it there, because that's private citizens' land. So that's how we plan on doing it. It's going to go into a fund. I mean, you can look this up online. You can go to the Senate, Mississippi Senate. You can look up SB 2255, and you can read about the bill. It's a very simple, very clean bill. But what we're concentrating on now, we believe the votes are there in the Senate, but don't know if they're there in the House yet.
Well, the key's going to be is whether it gets on the floor, and I don't expect this to get on the floor of the House. I'm sure it will be bottled up in a committee, Mr. Blackman or Mr. Bailey's committee. It may be double referred. Right now, double referred in the Senate, which makes it interesting. You've got, it's in Judd A. It's in Finance, which Dean Kirby chairs that. You may have a chance of getting it out of there. And, of course, Fillinghane chairs Judd A. He's the author of this bill. I think for sure you'll get it passed out of the Senate. We've seen unanimous immigration votes come out of the Senate, with Senate Republicans and Democrats voting for it, only to be killed in the House of Representatives and never brought up for a vote, much like voter ID and more important things that go to the state of Mississippi. But you bring up a great point, is you would think the Democrats would be all over this because this is money. This is taxes. I guess if you put it in the general fund, they might be a little more apt to it rather than using it to build the border fence.
Oh, yeah. And what people don't realize is how much money actually goes across the border. Another state that started looking at wire transfers, this is just a couple of years ago, actually found and caught drug cartels sending money in wire transfers. Now, this sounds something simple that, drug enforcement did not already, but they were able to do that because they have, they're looking at similar legislation. And what we're going to do is we're going to be able to not look at people and try to find out where all the money's going. This is simply money that goes internationally. And the other good thing about it is, let's say that you have a family member that goes down to Mexico on vacation and they need money and you wire them money. Well, at the end of the year in your income taxes, all you had to do was claim the money that you sent out of the country, and if you're a legal citizen, they'll give you your money back. Like I said, this is only going to people who are shipping stuff south of the border who are illegal. So it covers every aspect to make sure that citizens aren't going to be, bombarded by new tax or new fees. It's only going to go to those people who can't claim citizenship. So, I mean, it's rounded off. It's a great little bill. Senator Fillinghane did an excellent job writing this thing and putting it together. Like you said, it's going through the committees right now. I'm sure some people would love to see what's everything going to the general fund. But what we're trying to do is to be an example and a leader to the rest of the country. Yeah, little Mississippi right here, the state I love, trying to be an example to other states of something we can do. We can get together with state rights and state power and still do something and still be a proud American while you're doing it. So,
everybody, your website again, man. I got 1 minute to go here, Marvin. Give everybody the website of Mississippi Patriots.
It's mspatriots.com, and you can find us on Facebook, Mississippi Patriots. Mississippi money is being taken out of Mississippi every year and other states as well. Love for you to come and look at it, and thank you so much for having us on the show today.
Hey, I appreciate you calling, man. Thank you very much.
All right.
And there you go, Marvin Cox, member of the Mississippi Patriots. Go to their website and learn more about this bill, Senate Bill 2255.